Worried about gout? Check out Ural, the effective urinary alkalinizer. Ural, neutralize your uric acid problem now.
Welcome to Kini News. I'm your host Prasad. You know that app on your phone, MySejahtera, that most of us use a couple of times a day? So far, the government hasn't had to pay anything for it, but that may soon change. However, Khairy appears confident that it wouldn't cost over 300 million ringgit.
Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin has revealed that the government will not pay anything close to the 338 million ringgit for the MySejahtera app software license.
Is the government ready to pay more than 300 million ringgit for this new deal with MySG? Because that's the amount that they agreed with Entomo.
The amount that they have agreed to with Entomo has nothing to do with the government's negotiation.
Okay, but obviously as a business,
I can tell you for a fact that the amount that we are negotiating with, I can tell you for a fact that the amount we are negotiating with MySejahtera is much lower than 300 million, far lower than 300 million.
That is the amount MySG Sendirian Berhad had reportedly paid the app developer Entomo Malaysia to acquire the license previously. Khairy said the government is holding negotiations with MySG on the software license agreement terms. He was speaking to reporters after giving the keynote speech at the United Nations University International Institute for Global Health launch for the book titled Malaysian Healthcare: Building for Future Excellence, Equity and Resilience at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre today. He also added that the government has not paid any of these private companies anything yet. Khairy explained that there had been no contract between the government and the MySejahtera app developer Entomo when he first became the health minister. This is because the company had offered to develop and maintain the services of the app as part of their corporate social responsibility. As such, Khairy decided to regularize the agreement by entering into a formal contract with the developer in order to prevent any surprise charges in the future when the government wants to add more modules to the app. However, the government was later informed that Entomo had sold the license for the MySejahtera app to MySG Sendirian Berhad. Hence, the government is currently in the midst of negotiations with MySG for the subscription terms of the MySejahtera app.
Though the government hasn't had to pay anything for the app so far, all your data is safe, according to Khairy Jamaluddin.
Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin has clarified that the MySejahtera application belongs to the government. He said the decision to appoint a private firm to manage the application does not mean it has been sold. Khairy also pointed out the government decided in November last year that the ownership of the MySejahtera lies with the government and the Health Ministry was appointed as the main owner. Khairy stressed that from the onset, data on MySejahtera has always been under the purview of the Health Ministry. He said the usage and management of MySejahtera data must abide by the Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases Act, Medical Act, and international standards. Khairy also said the Health Ministry also cannot share the MySejahtera data with other ministries or the private sector. He added that the MySejahtera data uploaded to the cloud daily can only be accessed for the purpose of the MySejahtera application only.
The inquest into the disappearance of Anna Jenkins begins in Penang, with many hoping for some answers that the Malaysian authorities have yet to provide. The South Australian Parliament intends to closely monitor the proceedings of a coronial inquest into the disappearance and presumed murder of Australian grandmother Annapurani Anna Jenkins. In a statement released today, a South Australian member of the Legislative Council, Frank Pangalo, highlighted that he was taking a keen interest in the inquest. The family of the deceased had expressed hope that the inquest, starting today in Penang, would not declare that the latter had died of a sudden death. Her son, Gregory Stephen Jenkins, said he had been seeking justice for his mother, who went missing in Penang in December 2017. He added that the family would be very disappointed to get a verdict of sudden death. Gregory also expressed much dissatisfaction with the way the police had handled the investigation into his mother's disappearance.
If this happened in Australia, I think Mum's remains, or potentially Mum would be found alive a lot sooner. But a lot of important key things were, we believe, were missed early on, which is why our family have had to do everything ourselves, including searching on the mainland. So we've travelled, over 80,000 kilometres in 4 years. We've handed out 12,500 flyers. We've put up stickers. We've put up banners on major highways. We've searched hospitals. We've visited police stations, and every police station we go to were unaware, especially early on, that a missing Australian citizen.
The remains of Anna, as she is known to family and friends, were found on June 14th and 15th, 2020, after a missing persons report was lodged on December 5th, 2017. On June 14th, Gregory received images of items belonging to his mother from an anonymous source, and the police were alerted of the matter via the Australian diplomatic mission in Malaysia. The remains were found in an ongoing construction site within the compound of the Penang Turf Club along Batu Gantung by a construction worker. She was 65 at the time when she went missing. On January 13th, 2021, 154 days after the first search, the forensics team did another search and found more bone fragments. The death certificate was then issued for Anna without the actual cause of death identified. The tense relations between UMNO and Bersatu is a part of politics, according to Anwar Musa.
UMNO's Communications and Multimedia Minister Anwar Musa has denied claims that the relationship between UMNO and Bersatu is becoming increasingly strained. He described the situation faced by both parties as a part of politics.
Saya rasa tidak rendah, kita masih dalam satu kerajaan. Dalam kerajaan pimpinan yang berhormat Datuk Ismail Sabri Yaakob, kita melakukan satu gabungan beberapa parti, termasuklah parti Bersatu di situ. Cuma saya rasa apa yang berlaku ni lumrah politik, masing-masing sedang membuat adjustment. Jadi biarlah proses ini berjalan secara harmoni, kerana ini satu ketentuan yang tak dapat dielakkan. Menjelang PRU 15, setiap parti politik akan mengambil strategi-strategi masing-masing.
Anwar said when asked whether the tense relationship between BN and Bersatu at the federal level would affect the cooperation between the two parties in Sabah. Anwar also said politics is the art of possibilities and nothing can be considered permanent.
Things may change. Yeah? We have to remain pragmatic in order to move forward.
Kamarul Zaman says he's ready to take on DAP lawmaker Anna Yeo in court. Sir Govt MP Hannah Yeo is taking Kamarul Zaman Yusof to court over his 2 online postings on an alleged attempt to turn Malaysia into a Christian nation. However, the UUM lecturer in a counter-filing proclaimed he is ready to defend himself by proving the allegation in court. DAP lawmaker Yeo filed the civil action at the Kuala Lumpur High Court on February 24th this year. Kamarul also has a separate and ongoing civil defamation action against her for her Facebook post in September 2020. The lecturer is suing Yeo over an online response to the former's posting of a campaign banner featuring her and the words, quote, "the role of Christians and nation building." In 2017, Kamarul had also lodged a police report against Yeo over her personal biography, Becoming Hannah. He accused Yeo of alleged proselytization, claiming she was driving a Christian agenda. PKR is unlikely to split following the party polls. However, Fahmi Fadzil expects a Cold War.
Lembah Pantai MP Fahmi Fadzil has assured that the upcoming PKR election will not split the party. Fahmi claimed that this would be because the leadership contest would be a democratic process enforced by party discipline. Fahmi reportedly told Getaran that the contest might lead to a Cold War between competing factions, but emphasized that the party would enforce discipline to avoid any hiccups. He added that PKR President Anwar Ibrahim has reminded all who are contesting and involved in the election process to maintain ethical conduct and party discipline. According to Fahmi, the party expects to see fierce competition for the deputy president position. Rafizi Ramli and PKR Secretary-General Saifuddin Nasution are set to contest.
Sabah is looking to boost its revenue by collecting dividends of at least 1 million ringgit from state GLCs.
Sabah Chief Minister Hajiji Noor said state government-linked companies will be required to pay dividends of at least 1 million ringgit annually to the state government beginning this year. He said that doing so would help boost the state's coffers and bring more development to the people. However, he added that the state government would not be depending on GLCs alone. He said the state will also need more investors to come in. He said one of the features in the Sabah Development Blueprint was to create an investor-friendly policy. He pointed out that the state has attracted more than 10 companies to invest in Sabah within 1.5 years since the launch of the blueprint. Sabah registered 5.44 billion ringgit in revenue last year, the biggest in its history.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MySejahtera.com. I'm Prasad. Thank you for watching.